Hey guys, this is going to be part 2. As you can see, I have my trusty foil in hand now. I want to separate these parts of the videos to give you guys a little time to do an official water break. I don't know if this will make it easier or not. Mainly whether I decide to keep doing this is based on how fast it uploads to YouTube. I don't know if 2 short videos will be better than 1 longer one, but we'll soon find out, and you will soon know depending on whether or not I continue to do this in the future. So today we're going to focus on parrying and disengaging with our drills. The primary reason we're going to do this is because of the poll that I sent out. Now, of course, I know there was another request, and don't worry, I'll be getting to that special request on Thursday. I just need the money to get the beans. But other than that, today's drills are really going to just focus on parrying, disengaging, and riposting a foil's best friend, considering it's our only defensive option for getting right of way back. All right, so first drill is going to be pretty simple. You're going to get into pairs. If you're alone in quarantine, don't worry. Just focus on the motions. Don't focus on doing it to someone else. Just doing the motions will help well enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into on-guard stance, both fencers. Then fencer A, choose whoever you want in your duo, or if you're at home, just call yourself fencer A for now, is going to attack. Fencer B then is going to parry. Fencer A's attack should really be very telegraphed, not super fast. This is just to get the fundamentals down. Fencer B will then move their blade in a circle in order to parry and move the blade out of the way, because that's really what you're attempting to do with this parry, is that you're attempting to move the blade away from its course and then riposte to get your right of way back. So how this is essentially going to work is that you want to make sure that it is your wrist primarily doing this movement. This is a principle used in a lot of manners of fencing, except saber, where you want to use your wrist rather than your whole arm. So for example, I'm going to do a circle with my wrist and then a circle with my whole arm. Now the reason why you really want to focus on just doing it with the wrist and not using your whole arm is because if you use your whole arm, all of a sudden this whole target area for foil is now completely accessible. And it also means you commit harder to the option, so it's harder to capitalize off of, especially against someone else who's just using their wrist. With your wrist, as you can see, I'm not opening up any more of my body by doing this, and I'm also allowing to keep a tight circle, and I can make sure that I can then riposte much easier. If I go with the whole arm, riposting seems like this awkward motion. So again, I'm going to give you guys some time to do this drill. Just fencers A and B focus on attacking, then parrying and riposting. If you're alone at home, focus on the movement of attack, and then focus on the parry and repeat and riposte. All right, so feel free to pause, and then I'll move on to the next one afterwards. All right, so next drill we're going to do is the phrase drill. This is what has caused me to repeat filming this for like 80 times. But basically what we're going to do is that I'm going to say a phrase or a sequence. You guys are then going to follow it, sort of like Simon Says. We're going to make a little game out of this later on, but for now I just want to show you how it works basically. So to start, there are going to be 2 people just as it were before. If you're in quarantine, don't worry. I just want you to choose whether you're A or B and then follow those instructions. So what I'm going to do is say a sequence. I'm going to say fencer A do something, then fencer B do something, then maybe fencer A do something. That sequence is then going to be repeated with you guys, and you're going to keep doing the sequence until you feel satisfied with how well you can execute it, or if you fail, until you complete it. So, for starters, if I were to say fencer A, attack, fencer B, parry, riposte. Fencer A is going to attack just like we did in the drill before, and just like in the drill we did before, fencer B is going to parry and riposte. Now, I'm going to leave you guys to do just this sequence that I'm going to say right now, just to give you a little basic idea of how this drill is going to work. So, fencer A, attack, fencer B, parry, riposte. All right, and then again, if you're alone at home, just choose whether or not you're A or B. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of a more intricate phrase, so that way you guys can get a little more intricate with it, and also we can prepare for a little more of a game type scenario. So, the second phrase is going to be this. Fencer A, attack, fencer B, parry, riposte, fencer A, counter riposte. All right. So, that whole sequence would look like fencer A would lunge, fencer B would parry and riposte, and then fencer A would counter parry and then riposte. So that's how that sequence should look like. Remember to just keep doing it until you feel comfortable with it, or until you complete it if you're struggling to complete it. Okay, so that's all that I wanted to do with that drill. Now we're going to move into a more game-like Simon Says with it, where now you guys can hopefully compete and see how far you can get without messing it up. So there are going to be 5 different stages. I have these 5 different stages hopefully planned out, and hopefully I don't mess it up on camera again. But we're just going to start with a simple one. Stage 1, fencer A, attack. Fencer B, parry, but do not riposte. Ready? Go. All right. So feel free to pause the video at the later stages if people need more time to get it down, because obviously I'm probably not going to wait like a whole few minutes in order to do this. The video is probably already long enough at this point. But stage 2 now is going to be fencer A, attack. Fencer B, parry, riposte. Fencer A, counter parry, riposte. Fencer B, counter parry, riposte. So again, this is stage 2. So get ready, go. All right, so hopefully by this point you guys are done with it. I'm not saying, hopefully you pause the video and then unpause it to this point. So now we're going to get into stage 3. So this one's going to be simple, or a little simpler than stage 2. It's going to be fencer A, attack. Fencer B, parry, riposte. Fencer A, parry, riposte. Fencer B, counter parry, riposte. All right, so hopefully you got that. It's really just adding one more. It's helping you guys get into the flow of being able to do this. But then, so once again, just pause the video and then unpause it when you're ready. Now we will move on to stage 4. All right, and then again, you guys over in quarantine, just remember, choose A or B and then just do the motions corresponding to them. It's a bit harder to do parries and disengages without anyone there, but I'm trying to make this as quarantine safe as possible because I am in quarantine. So, stage 4, fencer B, attack. Fencer A, parry, riposte. Fencer B, counter parry, do not riposte. All right, and then as we learn more stuff going forward, I hopefully can make this game a little more challenging for you guys. But I want to make sure that we're beginner friendly, as well as just doing the fundamentals to, again, get ourselves better and more well skilled for when we do go back to tournaments. So finally, stage 5. Fencer A, attack. Fencer B, parry, riposte. Fencer A, counter parry, riposte, specifically to the hip this time. So now I want you to specifically try going for a target area that you might notice your opponent not guarding too well. So at this point now, we're moving on from just basic parries and riposte. We're going to move on to specific targeting. All right. Hopefully stage 5 wasn't too complicated. You were able to manage hitting on that hip. If you want, I would also suggest doing a little extra stage 5 for Fencer B, so that way Fencer B can also practicing hitting specifically at the hip. The reason why I say the hip is that the hip is oftentimes in on guard a difficult place to hit, and it's a really good way to practice point control if you just want to go to that place specifically. All right, so that is pretty much all I have for you guys today in terms of exercises and drills. This video was probably super long, but hopefully you guys probably have a good amount of time to continue doing bouts. I am super looking forward to hopefully coming back to campus, but we will know tomorrow. So with that in mind, one last bout tip for today, guys. Don't do things too fast, too quickly. When it comes to parry and disengaging in bouts, really just focus on making sure that you're able to do things slowly and thoroughly rather than fast and too quick. We often get too desperate and then we aren't able to do things as well as we'd like. Use this time to really settle into the fundamentals, get things right, so that way we're ready to compete seriously when the time comes. All right, that's all from me. See you guys on Thursday. Bye.